are live at Windsor Castle. Prince Philip has died. The notice posted this morning, and the flag's been lowered to half-mast. In Ottawa, the bells on Parliament Hill rang in tribute this morning. At 9 a.m., the largest bell tolled 99 times. The Canadian flag is also flying at half-mast on the Peace Tower. It will continue there and in all government buildings in Canada and abroad until sunset on the day of the funeral. Good afternoon. Prince Philip was 99. He and the Queen were married for more than 70 years. He was a naval officer and patron of hundreds of charities. CTV's Paul Workman reports from London on the Duke of Edinburgh's remarkable life.
It seemed he was always there, a step or two behind. Never quite the equal of his Queen, but in every sense her prince, her partner, and her husband of more than 70 years. A life with a very unusual beginning. He was born on a dining room table in Greece, a great-great-grandson of Queen Victoria. A year later, his father was banished and moved in with a mistress in Monte Carlo. His schizophrenic mother checked into an asylum in Germany, and young Philip was sent off to English boarding schools.
He was always living in somebody else's house. But he, of course, doesn't think that's so unusual, because unlike the rest of us who are used to a stable home, he didn't know anything different.
He became known as a friendless, emotionless loner who never spoke of his royal background. By the age of 21, he was at war, one of the youngest first lieutenants in the Royal Navy. The summer of 1946, he met his third cousin, the Princess Elizabeth, and a royal marriage was in their future. Philip was committing himself to a woman he loved, to a lifetime of royal duty he feared. In 1952, the king died, Elizabeth became queen. Philip's life changed forever. He adapted quickly and capably. On royal tours, Philip was the one who put crowds at ease, made people smile. And he became a blunt defender of the environment.
I'm not trying to be diplomatic, I promise you. I'm trying to be realistic.
But he was also gaining a reputation for being too blunt, the Prince of Gaffes.
How are you, sir? Are you well, sir?
Well, do I look ill?
Here, losing patience with a photographer. He never offered excuses, just told people to lighten up.
I'll change the way in which I react to things. It's part of some of his style, and it's too bad.
I don't think that he was a gentle, easy man. I think he was quite abrupt sometimes. He's not given to small talk. But he's totally straightforward. You know where you are with him, even if you're in trouble. And that's the good side about him.
Through it all, he had the Queen, who spoke glowingly of Philip's devotion on the occasion of their 50th wedding anniversary.
But he has quite simply been my strength and stay all these years. And I and his whole family, and this and many other countries, owe him a debt greater than he would ever claim, or we shall ever know.
They aged well together, and despite health concerns, he was often at her side, including hours in the rain celebrating her Diamond Jubilee. Over the years, Prince Philip made more than 22,000 solo appearances. This was his last, in 2017, the day of his so-called retirement. There were still Christmas church services to attend, and royal weddings in the role of a family's aging patriarch. After a traffic accident in 2019, he was forced to give up driving at the age of 97. Every public appearance aroused both curiosity and admiration for his long life, his energy, and sense of duty. It is said he never wanted the life of a royal, but he performed the role to perfection. A prince dedicated to his queen. Paul Workman, CTV News, London.
Word of Philip's passing is garnering reaction around the world. In the UK, tributes are being paid to a man celebrated for his commitment to service. CTV's Danielle Hamamjian reports.
The plan has been in place for years. The mourning of Prince Philip began with a notice posted on the gates of Buckingham Palace. It read that it is with deep sorrow that Her Majesty the Queen announces the death of her beloved husband. Within an hour, the framed words were removed to avoid gatherings during the pandemic. Still, they came.
He was brilliant. He was a great man. And the fact his relationship with the Queen was lovely to see. So, yeah, I think he's really important to the public.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson paid his respects, hailing the extraordinary life of the royal consort, always just 2 steps behind the Queen.
Like the expert carriage driver that he was, he helped to steer the royal family and the monarchy so that it remains an institution indisputably vital to the balance and happiness of our national life.
The 99-year-old Duke of Edinburgh said he wanted no fuss over his death. A state funeral would be expected, but those weren't his wishes. Britain is now a nation in mourning.
I think it just goes to show, how many people remember Prince Philip already. I guess the legacy that he's brought to everybody in this country. I think the amount of people that he's touched.